Going. Okay. Okay. Welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. Thanks for everybody who joined us today. This is our free Sunday Q&A call. It's been happening for almost 4 years now since COVID, and we're glad to help people find jobs, especially in IT. But this is also open for anyone else in the field. So just a quick intro about our coaches for today. We have myself, Ahmed Zayed. I've been in the IT for almost 15 years, and I am technical program manager, product manager, and a career coach. And my company is futurecareer.net. And I'll give the mic to Coach Mo to give a quick intro, and then also Samer, if you want to give a quick intro after Coach Mo. Go ahead, Coach Mo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being on the call. My name is Coach Mo or Mahmoud Abu Nil. I've also 20 plus years experience in the IT field as an independent principal IT consultant. And I'm also 15 years plus a student of emotional intelligence and human development. I put both sides of the house together to make job seekers' journey an easy and pleasant one, inshallah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Samer, do you want to give a quick intro?
Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon for people in the Middle East as well. My name is Samer Kassas. I am a human resources and employment consultant. I am graduated master degree in human resources and training management from UK, Leicester University, with accumulated experience in human resources of 18 years in different countries. I have worked in different countries, including the Americas, South America and Brazil, Europe, many countries in Africa, and all the countries in the Middle East, GCC, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, and Bahrain. My mix of experience have allowed me to be familiar with different systems, especially like the new trend of applicant tracking system and also the interview styles. I would be happy to share this experience with you guys and be of benefit. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Samer. Jonathan, good timing. Are you there, Jonathan?
It's just taking a second to load. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. If you were just doing a quick intro, if you want to just give a quick intro about yourself.
Absolutely. I'm Jonathan Tennis. I'm a customer success account manager at Microsoft. I am been a program manager and project manager in the defense industrial base for the U.S. military for 20 years. Was in the Army. Joined these calls because Ahmed's a dear friend and love being able to give back to the community with help with resume reviews and interview prep and LinkedIn optimization and all that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Samer. I really appreciate it. Sorry, thank you, Jonathan. Apologize.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So again, this is quick intro about why you should join this call regularly, and I'll show you some changes that we're doing recently for this call. Again, like you saw, this call is now recorded. I got so many requests from people to record it and upload it somewhere for people to consume it later. So this call have proven to help more than 700 professionals land jobs in the US or Canada, and it's interactive, it's inclusive. So feel free to ask any question. Don't feel shy. If you want to, put your question in the chat, that's fine. If you want to keep your camera on, that will help you with the muscle of being on camera. That's a muscle that sometimes people need to work out on it in order to master it. We ask you to ask questions. We can do resume reviews. We can help you with the job search strategy, salary negotiation, interview preparation, anything that you think of within your journey. Please share it with us. We're happy to, guide you as much as we can. Again, if we don't know, we'll tell you we don't know, but we can at least tell you, who can help you with your question. So what are the changes that is happening in this call? Again, did record this call. So if you're not comfortable being recorded, please exit. This call will be uploaded and shared on YouTube and social media for references. Our sessions will be taking place now every other Sunday. So next Sunday there is no call. And we'll add another call Wednesday 8 p.m. for those who cannot join the Sunday. I know that some people who go to church and maybe will not be able to join the Sundays. So that's why we're adding this also other week, Wednesdays 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can find all those sessions on the Future Career page on the LinkedIn. For any follow-up questions, please connect with our coaches on LinkedIn. The coaches, they shared their LinkedIn in the chat and also in the slide that I shared in the chat. So you can either connect here, here, and you can follow up with the coach if you have a question afterwards. Each session will begin with 10 minutes. I'll speak today for 10 minutes just to warm up and give you a quick insight about some of the main topics, and then we'll open up for Q&A. Call logistics, so share your LinkedIn on the chat. Keep your camera on if you can. This will boost your trust and confidence. Use the raise hand feature to ask questions. Briefly introduce yourself. Again, name, role, location, and your challenge or your question. And please try to give context as brief as possible, because everybody who's listening today can reflect on their journey through your question. And keep your question within 2 minutes, please. And we'll take a group selfie at the end and share it on LinkedIn, Facebook, and wider reach. So for upcoming sessions, I have a masterclass webinar that is happening Monday, September 16. The link to join is here. It's on LinkedIn. And then also the Wednesday and Sunday, those will be posted on Future Career page. So you can just, again, press those links to join those calls in the future. So there is some free resources here that you can benefit from. Private community that I have on my database, and a LinkedIn group if you want to join it. I also partner with Resume Guru, so they are giving a free token if you want a free token to help you with your job search, resume updates, interviewing preparation. You can get some mock interviews, which is a great tool. I highly recommend that you try it, and let us know if you need some help. There is a link for some free templates. If you want to benefit some of those free templates, you can press here. And again, if you want to join Future Career events, you can just press on this link to follow Future Career and help yourself with that. If you want to have my time, you can schedule a calendar invite through this link. And last call, we used a referral request, which was very helpful for some people to connect with companies. So if you would like to get a referral, you can fill this form. It's very quick and simple, but it's a two-way. So you can ask for a referral from somebody, and you need also to help somebody get a referral. So you do this by two-way, and I'll connect you with whoever is open to refer you based on the company that you're looking for, and as well we'll connect whoever is looking to be referred to companies that you can refer to. So that's, again, a way for you to benefit from this call real quick and without taking so much time, and the links are all in the chat for you. So again, as we mentioned, we'll start with 10 minutes. I'll speak for 10 minutes max, and then we'll open the Q&A. And today I'm gonna give those 5 steps discussion. Some people already been here before, they've seen this before, they may know this before, but for the benefit of people who joined us today for the first time, this is a very important 5 steps that I used to coach people with those 5 steps in order to gain focus, because you can be easily distracted in your job search if you're not focused. Unfortunately, it will take you a lot of more time to land a job. So The first step is defining first how much money do you need from the job, and this number need to be very clear and definitely need to be more than what you are um, paying regularly through your bills or expenses. So if that number is not clear for you, then it's better for you to sit with your family, whoever, dependents, and make that number clear. This is the bills or whatever liabilities that you're paying, rent, mortgage, uh, whatever insurance, anything that you're paying regularly. Make sure that number is clear so that you need to find a job that pays more than that number. If you get a job less than that number, you'll always be in debt, and that's not a good thing. So the second thing is to find a role that have is paying that number and also is within 70% or 80% of your degrees, certifications, qualifications, so that you land this role within 3 months latest. You should not focus on more than 3 months for one role, because definitely financials is helping or is triggering everybody's life. If you're not financially stable, and if you don't have your financials aligned with your family liabilities and your expenses, it's gonna be stressful. And this is where you need to work fast, work hard on this role, and put the effort needed on this role. Can I ask everybody to mute themselves if they're not speaking, please? So once you find the role, and sometimes you don't know the role, and this is where coaching is very, very important here. You can and definitely need to go to someone or maybe speak with someone who is really trusted, someone in your field who can guide you which role would work for you based on your degrees, based on your certifications, based on what you aspire, and your gets excited on as a role. And then once you know that role, then you start putting your resume, then you start putting your LinkedIn, then you do whatever is needed as a communication. Because if you don't do this step and then go fill your resume or fill your LinkedIn, the messaging could be very distracting. And this is where so many people unfortunately fail. They keep updating their resume with so many roles that makes hiring managers, recruiters confused. If hiring managers, recruiters are confused, then unfortunately they will pass. They will not step or wait for you to be clear. They need somebody who's very clear on what exactly they are doing. So if you're a software developer, this need to be a software developer communication through your resume, LinkedIn, and all social media, if you will. So once you define the role, then you need to create a wish list of companies that you really want to work for. Again, based on your excitement, based on the culture, based on whatever qualification that those companies need as well. So you need to make this a two-side story. You should not make this from your side only. You need to know what the market needs from you, and this is where you may miss here as well. If you don't know what Microsoft might need from you, and then you're applying for Microsoft, you're not ready for Microsoft, then unfortunately nobody in Microsoft will look at you. So this is a reality. If you know what Microsoft needs, and what certifications, qualifications, and also communication skill that is needed, and communication skills is highly, highly important today in any job, any role. Okay, so once you have that list figured out, then comes people, because if you apply like everybody in the market, unfortunately you're competing with thousands of people every day, and the list goes on. And depending on which company you're applying for example, Microsoft, you may get 2,000, 3,000 applicants for any role open. I don't know the numbers exactly, but maybe Jonathan can share a light if you know, Jonathan. But I'm sure it's a lot, and then that's where people can help you here. So if you know somebody, like let's say for example, Jonathan can help you, refer you for Microsoft. Again, if you make the connection with Jonathan, don't just ask Jonathan to connect you with Microsoft without sharing or speaking with Jonathan one-on-one. That's not gonna be helpful for Jonathan or anyone to refer you for Microsoft, for example. So meeting face to face or FaceTime or whatever Google time, 15-minute would help them to really know you as a person and then see if they can really refer you or not. If they're comfortable referring you, they will refer you. If they're not comfortable referring you, then they will not refer you. But it's worth the time to make the relationship with people, because they, at least if at the worst case you don't get referred, they can at least tell you how does Microsoft or Google or AWS recruit or hire. What is the hiring process? What are the things that you should be expected to have in your resume, LinkedIn, or others. Okay, so now once you've done those 4 steps, now you will discover that you have some gaps. And those gaps could be either certifications, or could be some experience, could be some communication skill that you need to acquire. Maybe your interviewing is not well, you're getting interviews, but you're not getting offer letters. This is where you need, maybe coaching, or maybe you need to put yourself as development plan and focus on that development plan for the 3 months. And this is very crucial for anyone who's looking for a job today. It's a tough market, and it's tougher when you don't know the process, unfortunately. So, if you want to know the process, you need to follow those 5 steps. It's very crucial. And I'll stop here. I'll pause and maybe open for Q&A now. I'll stop sharing my screen, and you can get started with your Q&A.
I'm going to jump in real quick, if that's okay, to just kind of talk about the applications and the candidates. I'll share openly. I know this is being recorded. I'm interviewing currently inside Microsoft as an internal candidate. One of the things that I benefit from is that my resume has to be reviewed by a hiring manager. It doesn't mean I have to be offered an interview loop. It doesn't mean I have to be offered a job. It just means that they have to actually look at it. Now, granted, I can look at someone's resume, check a box, and say I've looked at it. How detailed is entirely up to the individual hiring manager. So I say all that to say that I've applied for 50 jobs roughly over the course of the last 4 months. I've actually managed to only get into 3 interview loops. I feel like I'm pretty well qualified for the roles I'm applying for as well. The ones that I've been able to get into were folks who knew I was looking. And so it's that network thing where, it's impossible to compete in a candidate pool of 1,000 people. And we get upwards of 1,000 internal and external candidates. The last role I applied for had 1,000 external candidates. It had 200 internal candidates, and only 4 people got interviewed. So I didn't get the job. That's okay. It's part of that. I don't go into interviews expecting to get the job. I go into there hoping to get the job and doing everything I can to get the job. So what I say all of that to say is this: you cannot be competitive in a pool of 1,000 candidates. So do whatever you can to get from that big pile into that little pile. And so that's networking. That's knowing the hiring manager, knowing folks, being open to work publicly on LinkedIn, letting folks know that you're looking, helping kind of almost create an army of folks that are around. If you know 10 people at Microsoft, I hope, and that's where you want to land, I hope all 10 of those have an updated copy of your resume, and you've at least asked them if they're willing to refer you, because that's how you get into these places. It's leveraging the networks of the people that you're also connected with. You may not want to be at Microsoft, and that's fine. I have 2,000 connections there. I have 200 or 300 over at Amazon. I have a couple hundred over at Google. Wherever you want to land, there's a good chance that somebody in my network can get you there. If not, tell me, and I'll certainly go out and I'll start fishing for recruiters, and I'll make those connections, because the goal of my network and being connected to me is to offer that connection and those connections to y'all to benefit your search. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonathan. Great wisdom.
Ahmed, I want to also build on what you've just shared. Now, Ahmed will get telling us the 5 steps is a part of the exercise where you do off the market. So you prep yourself for going into the market. So I have a proposition for you guys, a gift that I'm gonna give to everybody that attends in this call, and for the first 10 of you specifically that's going to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'll share my breakthrough job search, the crash course, for free. And as it's named, I promise you during the course that you'll get a breakthrough in getting interviews and job offer. And there's a lot of what Ahmed has said inside the course. There's a lot of this preparedness to get into the court. the practice and the mental exercises that you need to do outside, so that when you say connect with Jonathan, for example, you know how to introduce yourself in a way that is inspiring for Jonathan to help you throughout your journey. Okay, so the first 10 that will send me that connection link on LinkedIn, I'll give them the course for free.
Awesome. Thanks, Mahmoud. By the way, we cannot see you. I don't know if it's only me, but you're
No, I think the camera was off. I might have hit the camera off or something.
Oh, no worries. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, guys, if
So
you
I'm not
wanna
gonna repeat the offer again, but the face is here.
No, you're good. You're good. I think we heard you loud and clear. Thank you so much for the offer. And guys, please take care of, take this offer. It's very important and it will help you a lot. Samer, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. I would like to share a small tip with the audience about when you're applying for a company. Certainly don't apply without preparation. Only apply when you are ready and fully equipped to apply for a company. Each company, when you apply, they will create kind of a profile for the applicants, and they will start reviewing these applications. Many people, they might say, I am interested to work for this company, and then the first time they see a job, maybe they will only upload their resume and apply. Don't apply until you complete your portfolio. You tailor-made for your resume for this company and then apply, because HR, they might review your resume for only one time, and they will grade it. And the moment it's graded by a recruiter, it got reviewed. Nobody else will review it again. So you lose the chance if you apply none very well equipped. Make sure you are ready, and then you apply strong to the company. Create a very good and strong first impression. The second thing I would like also to advise is to benefit from referrals. As Mr. Jonathan offered to give referrals, but you have two choices actually. You have a choice to reach to Mr. Jonathan and say, hi, refer me to this company, but you haven't got the buy-in yet. Convince Mr. Jonathan with your ability, with your skills. Try to follow his advices, and then like the moment he trusts you, that time you gain a connection, and then he will be referring you in a stronger way. The other way, it could be just like spamming, and you don't want that. You want him really to defend for you, and that's very important. Every time you contact someone, and that's how we create actually our referrals, especially in the Western part of the world. Maybe in the Middle East, I know my cousin, I know my uncle, and then they will support me. But over here, nobody will support you until they are 100% convinced that you are qualified and you are creating a strong value for the company. So really spend your time, communicate with them, show your work to them, and then they will be a good connection for you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Samer. Thank you. Great wisdom. And guys, Mr. Samer is an HR professional. He's working at the city of Ottawa, and he has his own practice too. So if you have any HR related questions, feel free to connect with him on LinkedIn, and he will be happily open to support your questions. Okay, cool. So I know that the first question always gets hard. People are shy a little bit sometimes, so feel free to ask your question. Otherwise, we can continue to share wisdom, but we want to definitely share wisdom that you really want. So raise your hand, ask your question. If you're shy to be in camera, or raise your hand, just put your question in the chat and we'll answer it as well. Okay. Marwan, yes, sir. Go ahead. If you
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah. So I have a question. Basically, like I'm a front-end developer. I've recently came to Canada. So my main question is that a lot of people tell me that it's hard to find a job without having any sort of Canadian experience. So is that something like I should be careful about before applying to any software positions? Like I should try to get an internship or something, or maybe work other jobs before actually applying to software jobs?
Okay, I'll let maybe Mahmoud answer this question, and then see if Samer wants to add anything as well.
Okay, I'll answer this question in a non-traditional way. Usually, when people, back to what Samer was building on, what Samer was saying, people will give you that you don't have Canadian experience. Those who are sharing that with you and got that as a rejection in interviews is mainly because there was a failure to connect with the interviewer at a personal level. At the end of the day, the interviewer wants somebody to accomplish the work, right? So if you don't connect with them, and that could be because of a lot of, at the beginning when we land in a new place, cultural just gaps and differences, the way we communicate, they communicate. So if they want to reject you with a reason, okay, the easiest thing is to go to say you don't have Canadian experience. Okay, but since you're already here in Canada, what options do you have? Right, because you're already in Canada, you keep going on saying I don't have Canadian experience. The alternative for that, I would recommend that you get people to know you. So leverage network first at the beginning. You might want to downplay any locations in the resume that indicate that most of your experience was overseas. But try to use the network and network for network where people get to know you first, and then when they know you, they get to tell you, so what do you do? You say I'm a software developer, so they say, oh, we have an opening. They liked you already, they trust you already in a personal relationship, they will take you in. Now, I give this example to people. I'm originally from Egypt, and I always play with this with people and say, listen, if you have an opening for a project manager and you're sitting in Egypt, and you have 10 Egyptian applicants, and all of a sudden you get a profile from a project manager from Mozambique or Malawi or Kenya, how ready would you, knowing that you don't know them, you don't know their background, you don't know what they do in this country, how ready are you going to be to, as a first choice, to take them? You're always going to go to the familiar. So if we apply and we lay all at the table, and it's just all pieces of paper, and the hiring manager is picking based solely on a piece of paper, they will, tendency of human beings is to go towards the familiar. So you will be in a disadvantage unless you break that cycle and do that personal connection and go out and network a bit, and people will like who you are, and they know that you'll have the skills to do the job. Then they will come to you and say, why don't you come work for us? That's my direction on this.
Awesome. Thanks, Mahmoud. Samer, do you want to add anything since you're as well in Canada? And I
Thank you.
think that there is some questions in the chat as well. Some people are saying, what does the Canadian experience even mean? And maybe you want to cover this too.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for that question. It's very related to my way of analyzing the answer. So first of all, let's ask ourselves, what is experience in general? And experience can be identified as the ability to convey the knowledge into a practice. And that's what is making the experience. So one person can live maybe in Canada for 5 years, and he don't have an experience to apply the job or applying the learned knowledge into a work. And someone who might come from a different country within 1 or 2 months, and then he can apply his learned experience. Experience is an accumulated practices that he can convey the knowledge. And if I want to say also human resources in general, although I am a human resources, many like Jonathan, Mahmoud, and you, Ahmed, also, but we are not very nice people. Human resources are not very nice people. So they might not be very honest. They might tell you that you are lacking Canadian experience, and that could be only a fog answer. They could not face you with the facts. What are you missing? They could not give you the direct feedback saying you are missing customer service knowledge, because such an answer can be very confronting and annoying for the candidate, and at the same time it can be challenged. If someone is certified by customer service from a reputable entity, they can face the decision of the human resource and challenge them and make a grievance. So HR don't want to put themselves in a place where they can be challenged with answers, so they can maybe lose the battle, or some union can defend against them. So they might give you sometimes answer of saying, oh, you have given a lot of good examples, but not very solid to the
estimated competency, or they might say you are overqualified, or they might say you don't have the Canadian experience. That means you are missing something. You haven't presented well in the interview. I have myself recruited a person who came from UAE. He's been in the country only for like 20 days. I was that time working for the Children Aid Society, and I was able to hire him with an 85,000 contract for IT, because his technical knowledge can be applied immediately in the country. There's no gap or any missing skills. So definitely it's accumulated, and when you have the experience, you can apply it anywhere.
Thank you, Samar. And there is a follow-up question on the chat about, as a student, how can I approach people for jobs? I have no relevant experience. I want to go for product manager roles, part-time or internship. Business analyst is also a role I'm preparing for, and that also I am from top-tier institute pursuing MBA in India. Okay, so first of all, again, if you're in India, your biggest challenge to work in the US and Canada is the visa, not necessarily the role or the experience, because US and Canada, they have people who have MBA as well, and people who have experience. So we don't really go through the visa process here in this call, but again, as a student, it's highly recommended that you connect with people through LinkedIn groups, or maybe Meetup, Eventbrite, or other forums like this one, and make the connection, introduce yourself, try to build the connection. And if you have the visa, then once you land here in Canada or the US, then definitely you will have better chance to use the network that you've built while you're not in Canada or US yet. In terms of different roles, business analyst or product manager, I highly recommend that you focus on one role and focus on that role for at least 3 months, and be realistic. Again, product manager is a role that you need experience to be a product manager. You cannot really land a project manager if you're a fresh graduate. It's going to be a little bit hard unless you go with a startup or some company who really feel that you have good technical skill that can help them. Business analyst, maybe yes, you can do this as a fresh graduate, but this is where you need to find the best mix between what you have as skills, experience, degrees, certificates, and what the company is looking for. Jonathan, I want to maybe give you a chance to add any color here if you would like. No, you're good? Okay, awesome. Okay, so yes, again, working, Canadian experience or US experience is exactly, a communication myth. And unfortunately, so many people fall in this trap. If you don't communicate as if you're local, and then definitely you have gaps. And when you don't communicate, then unfortunately people will not accept you, will not be open to hire you, or provide you with the connections. Okay, I hope this was clear. So I'll maybe take those hands raised and then come back to the question in the chat. So Tariq Saif, please unmute yourself and ask your question, please. And again, name, role, location, and your question, please.
My name is Tariq Saif. Hi, how are you all? Good morning. Here new in the state. I'm now working at Amazon as a warehouse associate, but I have an experience from Jordan and Saudi Arabia with help desk and technical support. When I arrived here, I came here just to work in IT. So I finished one courses with the cloud from Microsoft, and now I try finishing another one. But even when I try to apply for an entry level like meets my experience, unfortunately I just get applied and no responses. I try to make some connections, but until now I don't know what's the gap or what I miss. But I'm working on myself, studying and working. I still work at Amazon. I also applied for something internally, but nobody responds. But I meet the requirements. And thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tarek. Mahmoud, do you want to take this one? And then Samer can follow up as well.
Well, it's very similar to the first request from Marwan. Again, in the situation of a newcomer coming into the country, qualifications are uh, very applicable to the role that he wants to apply for, but something breaks in between. Now, the answer to that, the question seems very simple, but the details of the question is where the applicants usually, or the job seekers, get caught. The answer is not a simple 1 + 1 = 2 here. Okay, but I see traces of also what Marwan is dealing with is safe. Tariq, you would be relying on your technical knowledge, which means is job description says technical knowledge A, I have technical knowledge A. If you map them together, I should get a job. That's a mechanical way of doing that. Unfortunately, when you deal with humans throughout, humans are not, as Samer once said, once they're not professional, once they're not rational, once they're emotional. So there's a lot of things that go into it. We think, and I want to say something about coming from overseas to North America. Okay, because I've been that, and I was an immigrant. I came. You think things in North America are perfect, and people are highly professional, right? And when you come, they're gonna pick you up fast, and they will tap you on the shoulder and all this stuff and get you on the job, regardless of where you are in the globe. Human being is a human being is a human being. There's still part of them emotional that is takes decision based on their emotions, their feeling, their comfort, reducing their risk. And a lot in happens in employment is people are reducing the risk. No manager wants to hire somebody on their team so that their boss tells them, what is this person that you hired? He's not productive. He's not getting along with your team. You made a bad choice. So they're very on a high, like in a heated seat when they're trying to hire people. Also, the employment laws and everything like that. If I hire you and you pass the probation period, and then after the 3 months you turned out that not productive, I cannot let you go in a full time very easy. That's why usually I tell people who come from overseas, be open for contracting, because contracting, the relation of letting you go, it's easy for the employer. They can take the risk and bring you in, and once they bring you in, it's up to you to make yourself productive and show them that you have what it takes. But it seems to me again, Tariq, that the gap is in it's a more like you don't have the right key to the market. You have um, I made a small video about that where I said who you are is like a key that is going into a lock. The key has certain key bittings, the edges. Now, two of them are working. The third one is not working, and the third one is usually the culture. You put it in, you put the key in the door. You're trying to turn the key to open that employment market. Two are working. The third is not working. So you need to file this third one to make that lock turn. Sometimes we get frustrated that we even going to force that key, the key is going to break. It's not going to open the door unless it's adjusted. So what I want to say here is let somebody look with you specifically onto what is it that is not working. Is it the resume that needs to have something added to it, removed from it, presented in a particular way, positioning you in a particular way? Is it the LinkedIn? Is it the way you apply for a job? Are you only relying on like online applications? You're not doing any network, and maybe you say, yes, I did network. How much of a network is enough, right? Because sometimes people tell me I networked, and what they network is they only had one conversation or two conversations a week. It's not enough. Looking for a full-time job is a full-time job. Okay, but if you tell me I talk to 20 people each week and I have no result, I'll say stop, because you did the quantity, but maybe there is something wrong with the quality of how you're presenting yourself, right? So let's take a look. You fulfilled the quantity, but let's see if the quality is also fulfilled. So it's a very delicate question. I think somebody needs to look for you closely. It's not that the question on the surface is very nice, but there's something underneath the surface that needs to be tweaked.
Thank you, Mahmoud. And maybe for the sake of time, I'll let Samer take the next question, and so that we help everybody. And there is some questions on the chat. We'll try to answer them in the chat while SB ask his or her question. I
Yes.
don't know. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Saeed, and I am based in Houston, Texas, US, and I'm a software developer / architect with 17 plus years experience. Okay. And sorry, I didn't get time to update my name initial, but again, I'm Saeed. And I get to my question, but I do want to say, Ahmed, your resources, and Coach Mo, yours, Jonathan, I attended a previous session, and your resources is like a manual of what all things I've been doing not correct. I'm guilty of most everything listed there. Okay, so I'll jump straight to my question. Um, I've been job searching for a couple months. Okay, and I've been fortunate. I'm fortunate to get to a position. I got the offer. Now I'm on the call with HR, and I know this is not my top choice, or I need to turn down this offer. Okay, I know that, but I'm very good technically, but I'm not at all good. I mean, I'm getting better in interviewing and stuff like this. But the person I'm speaking with, as you can relate, they are so experienced. They have been talking to candidates a lot, right? And the last time I was in the job market was 6 years ago. So I'm coming there with the disadvantage. I want to not burn the bridge, but still keep this open. How do I do that?
Can I attend to this question?
Yes, please, Samer, go ahead. This is your question, and then I'll let Jonathan maybe follow up because he's in the US too.
Sure. Okay. Jonathan, please go ahead. You're more experienced than me in this.
The concern is burning the bridge, if I heard that correctly.
Correct.
Yeah. So listen, I'm all for burning bridges. But I am also cautious in the sense that when I do I think we get a little bit too hypersensitive to the idea of burning bridges. If you look back, I'm in my 40s. If you look back, I've burned a lot of bridges in my life. Sometimes I've regretted burning them. Sometimes, it's been like, that's a bridge I needed to burn, because there are truly places where you just don't need to ever be again. I think there is a professional and a courteous way to kind of deal with these situations. I was doing some coaching the other day, and somebody was just like, well, what do I respond when the recruiter's asking me if I'm talking to other companies? Well, of course you're talking to other companies. This is until somebody lands me with a solid offer, until I got an offer letter in front of me, like, I'm gonna talk to as many companies as I can. I talk to other companies. I primarily focus on Microsoft, but when companies reach out to me, I at least entertain it. What I do when I have those relationships or when I have those experiences is I say, hey, look, this opportunity isn't right for me at this moment. But what I would like to do is I'd like to continue having a relationship. So I try to connect with those folks. I guess it gets to the point of how far I think you're probably being too sensitive in saying it's a burning of a bridge. I think there's a way to politely withdraw from and remove yourself from that situation without it ending up actually negatively impacting you. I think that we think a lot more about these situations. Like, it'd be one thing, there's this really funny program called Parks and Rec, and there's an ongoing joke throughout the series where the guy keeps showing up to this office because, like, to work for these guys as an accountant, and then he shows up and then he's like, no, it's not for me, and he always leaves like within the first 3 minutes of being in the office, and it's hilarious. But as long as you're not doing that, you're not going to be burning any bridges. Like, you really aren't. I mean, they just think that say, hey, look, this isn't for me, and move on. But I think that's how I would kind of go about it. But it's individually, I do appreciate that you're concerned with it. I just think it's probably not nearly as big a factor.
Jonathan, just if you allow me, just to piggyback quickly on that. So in this instance, I was telling this is not right for me and like that. And she was pushing back at me saying, what is the reason I need to communicate back to the client? Again and again, she was giving me a very hard time. And I have no good answer.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I mean, think that, and here's the thing, sometimes people don't understand no, but no is a complete sentence, and having a response and saying, look, I don't feel like this personally is the right opportunity for me at this time, that should be sufficient to communicate to the client. It sounds like this person is looking for you to provide them an excuse, and really that's their business. Now, it sounds like there may be the potential that this person won't like your interaction, but But again, like I would evaluate and look at this person. If this was the only person who recruited for like Microsoft, for example, and that would end up basically eliminating your chance of ever, and Microsoft was a dream company of yours, then I would say it would be a big deal. But I really genuinely don't feel like it is. I feel like it's just a matter of, hey, listen, I have provided you with the reason why this isn't like the reason sometimes is just it's the reason, right? I like coffee. Why? I like coffee. That's it. That's the complete sentence. There is no, I don't need to provide anybody further justification. And if somebody continues to ask me why, they're not hearing me. They're not understanding me. And so it sounds like this situation where you're kind of being pushed. You've given them, you've done everything you need to do that is appropriate for you as a candidate, and it sounds like that person's just not accepting that. You've given them the answer and they keep coming back to you and asking you the same question over again. I don't feel like you owe them anything other than what I think we all owe everyone, which is courtesy, respect, decency. But you've done all of those things, and so if you want to disengage from this person or you just don't want to continue to respond, that reply button, it doesn't have to be replied. That's the beauty of email, is that like I have all sorts of emails where people have sent me emails and I'm like, I don't need to reply to that anymore. I've said everything I need to say. That's it. And so that's kind of, I think that it's unfortunate, but I will say that just like we all humans are all different, all recruiters aren't created the same, and some aren't great at their jobs, or some are frustrated because they feel the pressure because they get paid when they land people into these roles. They may feel the pressure of like, having been almost there closing this particular deal. And they may be frustrated that they're not going to be able to, but none of that is your responsibility. None of that is your business. None of that is your concern. You have to take care of you and yours. And I think that as long as you keep the focus there, then you're fine.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Got it. Appreciate it.
If they keep harassing you, send them to me. I love getting advice from people on the internet.
Just to be clear, like over email, it's so much more easy, but all the instances have been over the phone, and it's very hard for me to verbally push back.
Yeah, it is hard because you feel that pressure where you're like, because you were establishing a relationship. I do use this analogy a lot. Some people don't like it, but job searching is a lot like dating. You're looking around, you're trying to see where it works. You're trying to figure out, hey, does this work for me? I landed in places, both in personal relationships, like when dating, and I've landed in jobs that weren't right for me. And I've noticed it. And I've kind of been like, hey, sometimes I stick around for too long. But when you do, you kind of feel those effects, right? You start feeling those things. But whatever reason you have for not wanting to go through that door with that company, those are yours. And I ultimately respect them. I don't care if you just don't like the color of their logo. It doesn't matter. It's just that at the end of the day is, it is your responsibility to take care of you and yours, and you're doing that. The recruiters just, I don't think, hearing you properly. And that's unfortunate. I'm not going to badmouth recruiters. I really will never badmouth recruiters. They have a tough job, a really, really tough job. But I think that you're in a good spot. You've done everything you can. If you just don't want to answer their calls anymore, that's what the do not disturb, or, I've got all sorts of numbers in my account contacts that are do not answer for various reasons. And so, send it to voicemail. Send it to voicemail. It's easy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love your analogy of dating and marriage. Jonathan, is highly true. And again, you cannot date everybody and you cannot marry everybody. That's not gonna work. So some people will like you, some people will not like you. But in job search, you just need to increase the funnel. Like keep going. Don't stop on somebody who's not really interested in you. Just keep going.
So just tell her you need $50,000 more on that job, and she will never call you back.
It took me well into my 30s to realize that I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. And when I realized that, the freedom I feel when somebody looks at me cross-eyed or doesn't like the color of my beard, and I'm just like, that's fine, because there are 7,999,000,000 other people on this planet, and maybe I'll be good for them. But I think that this is just one of those situations where you're just going to have to cut your losses and hopefully not run into this person again. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Adnan, you're next. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Again, name, role, location, and question.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ahmed. And I will be very quick. My name is Adnan, and actually, I'm currently here in Canada, and I'm working as a RPA developer. And as you guys know that, right now, currently the RPA demand is very high. I have a job, but my situation is that I have to move from Canada to US, and My question is, do you guys know, like, okay, what is the best path, or you can say like a quick path to move from Canada to US? Because currently I am on a work permit here, okay, and I don't see any, like opportunity to convert this into a PR, because right now the point system is very high, and I'm unable to achieve that one. So I'm making my, like a second option, and I just need to know what would be the best way to enter to US. I have although the visit visa, but I know it's nothing. Visit visa will just let you enter once, and you can meet people, and you can give interview in person. But at the end, you have to leave. And so my question, what is the best way or best marketplace, or I don't know. I'm if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
if I'm clear in
I
my
hear you.
question or not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I'll repeat your question just to make sure, it's clear. So you're, open work permit, you cannot get a PR in Canada, and you want to move to the US, and you're in a IT role, or I'm not sure what's RPA exactly, but anyway, I think this is mostly the question about visa, and unfortunately we're not experts about visa here in this call, but what I highly recommend you is try to see if your company has a US branch or a US headquarter. Try to move internally with your company because they can sponsor you. Or if you are a very, very, let's say, unique professional in your career, and so that you can motivate companies in the US to sponsor you, that's your way in. But again, we are not able to guide you on visa process, unfortunately, and I think we can leave it there unless anyone wants to add anything, Samer, Mahmoud, or Jonathan.
What is the citizenship, Adnan?
My citizenship
Yeah,
is Pakistani.
Pakistani. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ahmed, sorry, Coach
Go ahead.
Mahmoud. Just to clarify, Ahmed, the RPA stands for Robotics Process Automation.
Process automation.
Okay, okay. So, this is one lesson for all of us. Again, sometimes we think the acronyms are clear, and you definitely need to tell, because there's so many acronyms today. And thank you for clarifying, Adnan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Yes, yeah, please, Brother Mahmoud, you were saying something.
So the reason I ask for that is you have companies like Infosys, Wipro, Tata, and all these companies, they have presence in both Canada and the US, and I've seen before people hired with them in Canada, and then a demand on the process is higher in the US, so they move them from Canada to the US, and once you get to the US, that becomes an easier to. It's not very easy, but you still have to get H-1B, and then hope you turn it from H-1B to a green card, which is not as easy as it used to be 10-15 years back in the US. But try to get into one of these. If you're not already, are you in one of these companies already in Canada?
No.
Okay, see if you can get into these companies, and then in a year or 6 months or a year, have a conversation to go work on American projects, and then they transfer you on the American arm, and from there you work your journey.
Clear. Thank you, Brother Mahmoud.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I think we have 5 minutes to take the last question by Osama. If you want to unmute yourself and go ahead, please, Osama.
Hello, everyone. My name is Osama. I just graduated from Chicago in a master's in data science, and I'm trying to get into the market. I had two questions. One question, it's a small question, first one. The first question was for Brother Samer. He lived in so many countries. I just wanted to ask which country had the best food. And my second question was so I've been told by a lot of people that when you apply for a job, look out for the HR and try to message them. I've been a little confused about that time frame. Like, do I message them before applying? Do I message them after I apply? And what do I say in the message itself?
Okay, I assume this is for you, Samer, so go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Osama, for the question. The best food actually, which match your culture. It's always like that. So even with the HR and recruitment, we need to understand the other party culture, and that will give us the best food and best approach to get hired with them. Messaging recruiter is very important question. Also, I will attend to your second question. So messaging the recruiter is important at which stage? Let me tell you. Let's understand what's the issues with the HR. What is their pain? What's their concern? HR, they want to remain neutral. As recruiter, they want to remain neutral in front of the company as well as in front of the hiring managers. So every communication with the recruiter is counted as a record for them. So HR is very cautious to give you any advantage comparing to other applicants. And that's a stage where they will be very careful not to give you any information or chat, and you might see them many times not even replying because that might create an advantage. HR, they want to publish the job at the same time to reach to everybody at the same moment, so everybody have a fair opportunity to apply for the jobs. During the job post, they don't want to give any information because they want every candidate to receive the same level of knowledge of the job. So all the information is published in the job post. However, when you apply and then the job closed, you have a chance to send a message and say, hi, I have seen this job being published on your website and I have applied on it. Don't say how do I, because they will say, tell you go to the website and apply. I have applied for it and I want to message you just to try to stand out among the crowd, maybe. Or I am sure you are receiving a lot of application based on you are an employer of choice, you are a targeted company. So I thought to message you and I hope I get a chance to have a chat with you or being interviewed. Looking at the process of recruitment is very important, and our application will never give us a job. Surprising, huh? Because now, if you want to apply to any job, like you are now in Canada, let's say you're applying for a job in Dubai, yeah, and then you applied now, you went sleep, you wake up in the morning, you found a job offer in your email. You will say this is a spam. Definitely it's a spam because it doesn't work like this. I don't apply, next day I get a job. The job application will get you a screening call. That's it, maximum. And then screening call will get you an interview. The interview might lead you to an assessment and then a job offer. So understanding this perspective will give you an estimation when to message the HR and when it's safe not to breach their confidentiality or try to put them in difficult situation so they can support you. Many times I would say after interview, yes, you have to message them to build an official communication tool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tamer. Great wisdom. Any follow-up, Osama, on your end before we take the group selfie? I think we have maybe 1 minute.
So what I understood is apply as soon as the job is posted, but I should wait until the application is closed, then message the recruiter.
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody saying yes. Okay, Selena, I think we'll just take the group selfie and maybe we can take your question after the selfie. So if everybody is ready to take the group selfie, and Mahmoud promised to give you the gift if you stay till the end. So Mahmoud, do you want to do the gift now, or we take the group selfie and then you share the gift?
I shared it at the very beginning after you finished your 10 minutes.
Awesome.
I will share it again. I said that in appreciation for you being all on the call and making the time, the first 10 people. So since we're 31st here, I'll make it the first 20 people that connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll share with them access to a free course that has all the tips and tricks and very similar to what Ahmed has started with to give you that background of preparedness as you get into the market. At least you've done your homework. You can also use the course as a checklist of how you're searching today and what the course is saying, and see if you have gaps for yourself that is worth closing.
Awesome. Thanks, Mahmoud. Okay, so if you guys are ready to be a celebrity for this call, I know it's time to join the camera. I'll give maybe 1 minute or less for people to prepare themselves to be in camera, and I'll take the screenshot. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, and I want to see a smile, and then I'll take the screenshot. So whenever you're ready, guys. So 1, 2, 3, and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. This is amazing. Very, very good turnout today. More than 36 people, and hopefully this was useful, beneficial. And again, thanks a lot to the amazing coaches today, Mahmoud, Jonathan, and Samer, for providing their wisdom. I hope this was useful. We'll stick around for maybe 10 more, 15 minutes more, just to answer Selena and if there is any other questions, and then we'll give you back your Sunday. Selena, please go ahead. Unmute yourself, name, role, location, and your question.
Hi, I'm a clinical dietitian and I'm a permanent resident of Canada. I live in Ottawa. So I applied to a job recently and I got an interview with the HR and then with the hiring managers. And then I was told that the interview went really smoothly, but I was told that I should expect an answer within 2 weeks. But then I waited for 3 weeks and I didn't get any answer. So I contacted the HR by email and also by message, telling her that I'm just following up on the hiring process and I'm really still interested to work for their company. And still, I didn't get any answer. And I'm
Okay.
sure it's not a spam. I'm sure.
Okay, cool. I think maybe Samer, this question, you will be the best person to answer because it's mostly HR, dealing with kind of application, and I know there's so many changes. So if you want me to repeat the question, so she applied to the job.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
I got it. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. So definitely, we need to look at the HR in two perspectives, as a professional body and as a human as well. So if it's as a professional body, there's many aspects that affecting the recruitment process. Many times we need steps that approved by the hiring managers, maybe sometimes improvement on the system or on the hierarchy. So this will create some gaps in the process. And within these gaps, maybe sometimes human resources, they don't have answers. And they don't want to give any false promises. They might tell you in 3 weeks, and they might come back earlier, or maybe they don't have this answer. The KPI for the recruiter is to fill the position. They want to fill the position as soon as possible with the best candidate. So they are not just delaying because they want to give you a hard time. There's definitely a reason, and mostly they cannot expose it. Be careful not to harass the recruiter by a lot of messages, because if you made his life difficult and he felt that he's getting cornered or something, then the easiest thing for HR is to screen you out. They will exclude you from the competition, so they don't put yourself in any trouble or any false promises, because they will be afraid if you are not happy with their promise 2 or 3 weeks and then they aren't responding, and then I might complain, I might escalate. HR don't want to put themselves in this situation. Then they will say to you, thank you for applying. We have a lot of requests. We will keep your resume for future. And then now they are safe. They can recall you anytime in the future, and they stop your communication. So don't harass them. Act with them as a human being, and they will support you definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Samer. Selena, are you okay with that, or do you have any follow-up?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to add that I was accepted once for this company back in February, but I couldn't start at time. So I declined the offer. I don't know if this will affect my application.
Okay.
But I gave
It's very difficult to answer. Yeah, it's very difficult to answer. So sometimes if you reject the application after you've been selected from the interview and by the hiring manager, that will piss them off definitely. Depend on the stage. There's no solid rule with that. It needs to be analyzed more. It needs to be studied the situation more. We need to ask you, and we don't have much time actually in the session, so to articulate for that. Yeah.
Okay, so just one more question.
But
So
definitely, I will add, when you apply for many jobs in the company, don't do them all at the same time, because that will confuse the HR, saying that you're applying for different jobs. And if you apply, be precise on one job that you're applying now. If they finish reviewing your request, then you can apply for another job. What you applied now will not affect what you applied in the future. You might have different brands and you might apply for different jobs. Every time you click apply, the system will kind of take a screenshot of your application. And then we have a new input for HR to review.
okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, Selena, if you want to maybe connect with Samer offline through LinkedIn, and maybe he can guide you further offline. Okay, I think we have one more question. Abdulaziz, if you want to unmute yourself and go ahead, and then we'll call it a day after Abdulaziz's question.
Okay, thank you very much. I just would like to share my my job search.
Share your name, role, location, so that people know the context. I know
Sure.
you personally, but maybe some people don't know you.
So my name is Abdulaziz. I am a software developer. I have a working experience in Canada for 6 years in CIBC, Sitecore, and KOM software. I'm looking for a job for the last 3 months actually. Actually, it's the same technique that I used when I was fresh graduate. The job search technique, I mean, these techniques got me a job like 3 times ago. But currently, I don't know what's the problem. I'm following the same technique. It has been like 3 months, more than 600 applications. I'm not able to get a job. So I don't know, is it like a market issue, or probably I need to work more on my technique. So what was effective 1 year ago is not effective now. That's basically the 2 questions that I have. So is it from my side, or it's from the market side issue? Thank you.
Mahmoud, do you want to take this one, or should I?
Sure. Well, you see, Abdulaziz, if let's start from that last question. If you are going to say is it my side or the market side, and anybody will tell you it's the market side, you've surrendered all your actions to the market and you have no actions to do. So I would like you to assume, truly or not, 100% responsible. I am 100% responsible of the results. Why am I saying that? Because when you do assume that you're 100% responsible for the results, you'll see actions for yourself that needs to be improved. You'll take new actions to start trying to figure out the gaps. But if you put it on the market, then okay, I'm fine. There's nothing for me to do. But even that, when you put it on the market, the result for you is still the same. You don't have a job. Even if it's the market fault, how does that change my life? I still don't have a job, right? So did you seek any help on figuring out what is wrong? Like, maybe from your perspective, everything is good, right? But did you seek a third party opinion to say, you know what, let's take a look at that, see what is the gap?
Probably that's my mistake. I should have done this when I saw this not working for the first 2 months. I didn't do that. To be honest, I was just saying, I was a little bit confident, okay, I did this 3 times. I was able to find a job, so probably I would be able to find a job using the same technique that I used before. But it looks like finding a job is like a kind of art as well. It's not like just a set of steps. You need to seek help when you need.
That's true. Especially in the last 4 years, a lot of things changed with the market. So back to the example of the key and the lock that I talked about, your key is still the same key. But if the lock changes, then even that same key is not going to be able to open the lock. You have the same key that you were adopting over and over again. The key didn't change, but maybe the lock changed. Right? So now that you put your key in the lock, it's not working. So we need to look at that key again and then see how can we file this key to be compliant with that lock, given that in the last 3-4 years the market has changed drastically after COVID and all these things, like a lot of things. And not only COVID, some things matured, like the concept of emotional intelligence and hiring people not only based on their hard skills, their soft skills, even that matured over the time. Now there's some convolution between COVID and that, but that trend started before COVID, and that's what we've been talking about. It's like more about who you are than rather than what you have or the stack of knowledge or skills alone that used to work in the past. So my advice is like have somebody look with you at where could be things or gaps or open areas that you would close or position yourself properly that would make a higher response from the market towards you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Abdulaziz. And again, just to Mahmoud's point, we don't know what we don't know, and sometimes we need another eye to tell us what we don't know and guide us on that. So, again, feel free to reach out to any of the coaches to help you with that. Okay, Adnan, I see you raise your hand, and there is a question for you, Samer, on the chat. If you want to answer the question on the chat, and Adnan, go ahead. I think we'll finish with you just to keep this within 15 minutes after the hour, and then we'll let everybody enjoy the Sunday. Go ahead.
I will have to drop, Ahmed. I'm sorry for everyone, because I have a technician that's working in my backyard that I promised that 12 and it's already 12:15.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Go ahead, Adnan.
Yeah, actually, I already wrote my question over the chat, but I will just say, Mr. Samir was saying that, okay, whenever you apply for any company, what the HR system, HR people, what they do, they save your resume. So that's why you should always, like give a first impression as a good impression. Now the thing is, like, okay, we are in a technology or in a field where the technology is changing every day, and you are updating yourself with that technology. So if I apply, let's say 6 months back in a company, and at that time I was not having that skill, okay, but now I have it, and in that last 6 months I have practical experience also for that one. Now, if for example, if there is another job comes with the same title, okay, and if I'm applying and the HR system is saying that, okay, we already have your resume and we will look into it. So how we can update or let HR know that, okay, I have a new resume, please update your system, and please don't use my last resume because it doesn't have those skills. I hope my question is clear.
Yes, thank you very much. It's very clear. So it depends on the company and the human resources HRIS system they are using. Many companies lately are depending on SuccessFactor system, and this SuccessFactor will allow the user to update their profile. So you have a login, you can sign in from your side, and you can update your resume or portfolio. Automatically, it will update with the HR system. However, the jobs that you applied previously for, they have received your previous version of the resume. And that's because every job have a time for application. They will say the job is published now and it's going to be closed maybe after 10 days. And that's the close. Nobody can apply after this. You cannot change your resume after applying because that's the condition. It's fair for everybody, equal opportunity. However, if there's another job come in the future, you can definitely submit another resume. When I spoke also about make sure that you have a first good impression when you apply for the company, make sure that you are very well equipped and ready to apply, because if many companies, if they exclude you permanently, that's also a function in the system. So if you apply and say like you have mistaken some essential thing in your resume, saying that I'm not eligible to work in Canada, for example, and you are in Canada, and then from our side we will exclude that from the application. It will not show in future applications. So Now it's a big problem. You're not going to enter to the pool again. If you are having some mistake in the resume, that's an issue. So make sure that from the first time, as Mr. Mahmoud mentioned earlier, there's a thousand reasons that you have to fulfill to be successful. One of them will make you away from your target. So sometimes when you succeed, it looks simple, but it's not. You have achieved a thousand things. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samus. Thank you, Adnan. And again, as we say every time, stay positive, stay proud. Job search is a journey. It takes time and it takes lots of learning. And if you don't do what is needed, unfortunately, you're resisting yourself, you're resisting, the process, and which is not gonna help you. So if you keep doing what you're doing, you keep getting what you're getting. If you need to change, I mean, if you want to have better results or changed results, you need to change what you're doing. So changing what you're doing is key here, and accepting new norms, accepting technology to be a great player in this world today, and how to approach employers and connecting with people. Communication is key. Those things are very, very important for your journey. Again, I want to thank you all for attending today. I hope this was useful, lots of wisdom. If you want to share kudos and thanks to the coaches today through LinkedIn, and that would be a good thing that you can do. You can always give back to people who gave you their time and Sunday through those kudos and recommendation on LinkedIn. But again, it's up to you what you do. I'll let maybe Samer and Jonathan give a quick final words before we end up here. And thanks everybody again for joining. Again, we'll not have this call next Sunday. It's going to be the other Sunday, and we'll post this on Future Career page if you want to follow it up. Jonathan, Samer, any final thoughts before we leave it there?
I love the idea of as a way to say thanks to folks to include a recommendation. So I dropped the link in this chat. So if you do feel like it, one of the things I'm always a fan of, leverage AI. I can't tell you the number of times I have ChatGPT or the better product, which is Copilot, start a draft of something for me. And so, use that, write the prompt. Hey, write a two paragraph recommendation for such and such based on this profile, include the resume. And so then you can kind of see and then tweak it. And then, you're in maybe 5 minutes, all total task. And it's a nice way to amplify and help each other out and just kind of also stay on each other's radars. If you're asking people for something, the world is very transactional in the sense of like, hey, we're giving our time here. And it's awesome because we like doing this. Ahmed has invited me to this. I love participating. I love spending a part of my Sunday with you. But, giving gifts back and forth is just a way to kind of like continue to cement and further that relationship, because then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh man, I know such and such is looking for a software engineer role and they're in this specific area. It's a way for us to continue to plant, like think about like almost like a little worm. That's like, you want to make sure that you're like on that person's mind all the time. And so it's just kind of how do you continue to help each other out, because we're all going to be better together. We're all, raising each other up. So that's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonathan. Samer, final words?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. I would like to say, like always, when you apply for jobs, try to get sometimes two things you might need: a second opinion, and that's all the network. Everybody around you, ask them. But you need to know what is right and wrong, because if you share your resume with all your friends, with your uncles and cousins all over the world, and then you will get a teamwork resume, and that's not always very good. Sometimes you need to funnel it and based on one brand, and also make sure that you are adapting to your resume the correct feedback. So the second advice will come: sometimes you might need to refer to experts, and experts have spent years in this field, and they can actually evaluate your tools in the right way, and that should also save you a lot of time. By using the same resume and with little tweaks, that will take you maybe 1 year to understand where are you going. So check with the experts. They will give you a good evaluation. They will save you a lot of time. Remember, when you have a pain in the stomach, you go for a doctor. And there's also, this is a very evolving industry with lots of changes. You might need help. ask for it, save time. It's always an important investment of your time and your dedication to save a lot of effort. The other thing also, if I might add, a last thing, I have learned this from Jonathan now when he said working together and collaboration. Think also when you go for an interview, what is the benefit of the company or the interviewers who are sitting in the meeting? Try to come up with something that will benefit them. It's not only a win for you. And I have seen one case in the past where a gentleman have dedicated himself every time before going to an interview to find one mistake in the company website. And when he go for the interview, he will come with this nice gift for them. He will say, I have been studying your website. I found this mistake. I thought to tell you to correct it. And he gave them a gift back. And then now he's building a collaboration as well. Yeah. It's a win-win. Always win-win, succeed. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thanks so much, Tamer, for your wisdom. Thanks, Jonathan, for your wisdom. Thanks, Coach Mahmoud, for your wisdom. And again, thanks everybody for showing up and asking very important questions. We'll leave it there today. We call it a Sunday. Again, stay positive, stay proud. We're here to help you. Reach out if you need any follow-up question. You have our LinkedIn profiles in the slides, and we're happy to help you with your journey. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day. Take care.